Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Positive and Wellness Summit. It's going to be an exciting time because we have a lot of people lined up. We have the fireside chats with our 4 guests, and we're going to banter on healthy strategies for successful living. We also have Adenike, who is going to be speaking of health-life balance, and then we're expecting Adenike Oyekunle, who is going to be speaking on gratitude and being thankful. Then we also have for the parents in the house, how to give your children healthy foods and lifestyles. So it's going to be really interesting. How was, put in your comments, how was yesterday to some of you? For those of you who are able to come on the show yesterday, how was it? Let's hear from you. And don't forget, at the break time, there's going to be a break period of 45 minutes because of the limitations of running on YouTube for a long time. So we'll break for 45 minutes and we'll come for the second session, which starts at 6 o'clock. And between them, we'll be having games that you'll be winning more data to come and watch the program, especially tomorrow, the final day. And also, if you have an opportunity and you're interested, we're having a debate tomorrow. If you're interested in being a participant, just put it in a comment box and our people will get back to you. The topic is live to eat or eat to live. So what are you willing to do in terms of eating? Are you eating to live or you're living to eat? So we'd like you to discuss that, and there's fantastic prizes for you. We have 25,000 worth of food vouchers, store vouchers, supermarket vouchers for the first prize team each, and then 15,000 for the second prize team each. So please, if you're interested, put your name and what you want to talk about, which side you are on the comment box. So while we're waiting for our guest, please let's take this short break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back and you're on to the Positive and Wellness Show, day 2, session 1. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also turn on the notification box button so that you can get notification on when we are online, especially during this summit, and you'll be able to get there quickly. So we're going to have a special guest. I'll just play her bio and then we'll get kicking.
Adenike is a lawyer, though not in active practice. She delved into the world of media. A qualified alternate dispute resolutor, a qualified human resource personnel, and an emotional intelligence coach and the gratitude coach. She has been nominated for several media awards, winning some and getting others for recognition on the job. Adenike in 2017 was a speaker at the TEDx Gbagada, Lagos, speaking on philanthropy and the role of empathy in the human society. Her passion, driving conversations around the plight of disability in Nigeria, led her to establishing the Amputees United Initiative, a social group specifically for amputees. Her work has earned her several platforms, spanning for hosting events, moderating several sessions, and being part of many panels. A goalkeeper, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She uses advocacy to push for and encourage the inclusion for persons living with disability in her country, Nigeria, with her foundation, Amputees United Initiative. She's an author of a self-titled memoir, Adenike. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Adenike to the Positive and Wellness Summit as she speaks on with a grateful heart, living a life of thankfulness and gratitude for all-round wellness.
Yes, we have Adenike Oyekunle in the house. I'm going to bring her back on, but right on. But I just realized I was on mute when I was explaining some things, and I said that remember to turn on your notification button and like the pay channel so that you can get notifications on our various programs. So let's welcome Adenike. Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can hear you very well. So put your clapping and your emotion and all that stuff, your fire emotion, your clapping emotion, whatever emotion to welcome our guest Adenike into the house. Welcome. Great to have you. And all the stress of the country. It's challenging, I know, and that's why I feel it's so important to help us get these things done,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
sometimes we can easily give up. I know people who are depressed and frustrated, and it's very
yes.
important we bring programs like this to help people know how to balance their life. And so I will hand you over to Adenike as she talks about with a grateful heart. You have 30 minutes max, and then 10 minutes
Okay,
for Q&A, and I'll come on when you have 5 minutes to the end of your 30 minutes.
okay, all right.
All right.
But it's weird speaking to myself, so please stay here now. Where are you going to?
Oh, okay. All right. How we do that?
Okay, yeah. So I can just go. I can go ahead, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So again, thank you very much, Auntie Twain. You know how I respect you, respect your journey. I truly honor, your transparency on this journey of life, as you've always been vulnerable, sharing everything with us. With Aburo Nimoji, I'll say it in Yoruba. And I say thank you very much. I truly
Thank
appreciate
you.
this privilege of being part of your amazing program. So you asked me to talk about gratitude and wellness, and
Yes.
it sounded very like, this will be my first speaking specifically about gratitude, because a few months ago I remember just changing my Instagram description to gratitude coach, and quite a number of people were saying, what does this mean, what are you about,
Mm,
do you have? And I said, don't worry, we continue to unravel, as even me myself continues to understand it. It will continue to
yeah.
unravel, and I'm sure that the world will know. But I feel like very strongly it's very necessary to talk about what happened 3 years ago to me. 3 years ago,
Mm,
I felt very strongly to journal, what I'm grateful for, because I had heard a friend of mine say that she had done it for 2 years successfully and that it had transformed her life. And for whatever it is worth, that particular experience I wanted to be a part of, and I wanted to understand what it meant. So what I did was I decided that for every single day I would journal at least one thing that I was grateful for. So when I started in 2017, I started to journal one thing I was grateful for that happened in my own life.
mm,
And there'll be few days where I would struggle. And that's because as I continued, even through 2017, and I didn't believe that I was able to do it for every single day, I found out that I started to run out of what to be thankful for. This is very honest. And that was also because I didn't want to start to say thank you for food. If, except that particular day, I was broke, I didn't have food to eat, there was a break in how I would have expected that I'll get food. I didn't want it to be a thank you for oxygen, except I struggled breathing while I was rushed to a hospital. I didn't want a situation where I would write mundane, in quotes, things that would thank you for clothing. Why am I thanking you for
mm,
clothing? What is specific about clothing today? Does it mean that, where I used to say burnt and maybe I lost all my clothes or somebody stole all my clothes? Except those peculiar things happened, I was very insistent to myself that I did not want a situation where I'll be saying, thank you for, in quotes, regular things, except those things were threatened. So from 2017 into 2018, I knew that I didn't want it to be a journey that I would take by myself, because when I started in 2017, I had made a pact with myself that I was not going to open the content until a 5-year mark. So 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. So it means that in 2022 or at the end of 2021, I would open, what I had written in the last 5 years. And you can imagine for a second how emotional that experience would be, because in hindsight, I would see things that I had struggled with, things that I was grateful for, and I would also start to evaluate my life, in particular moments where I am. Say, for instance, if I said in 2017, thank you for, I was able to pay my house rent, and maybe by 2021 or 2022, I pay a house on my own. It brings perspective into, oh my God, look at how far my journey has come. And it was very necessary. And personally, to me, I'm doing a 5-year mark. My friend did a 2-year mark, and she had explained to me how emotional it was, how exhilarating it was, how liberating that experience was for her. So I told myself that I must do it myself. So I started. Now, it was very instructive to me that I didn't want to do it by myself. So I decided to throw it out on Instagram to say, hey, who would like to join me, to keep the journal of what they are thankful for? And people started to tell me that they would like to join me. And before I knew what was happening, I opened an Instagram handle, and every single morning I would do a post about gratitude. And I would see people randomly say, oh my God, I follow your gratitude journey. I just want to thank you. Oh yes, I stopped along the line. I stopped for 6 months. I stopped for 3 months. And then I grew into a space where I started to tell people that the most important thing is that there's consistency. You determine for yourself what that pace would be and what you're going to be consistent about. If, unlike me, you write what you know what it is on your mobile device, by all means, please go ahead and do it. If you want an app, because there are gratitude apps, if you want an app that would help you in the journey, please do it. If you want to voice record, please do it. If you want to text, if you want to type, please do it. What is most important is that you are keeping a record of what it is that you're grateful for. And what that has now done for me is that, and I'll tell you how it concerns to wellness, is it made me move into a space where I was no longer looking out for just myself. So case in point, oh my God, thank you, Lord, Auntie, oh, it was a huge success, the program today, because imagine that you had told me the challenges that you had experienced before the program became a success. Then I'll go back into my gratitude journal today to say, oh my God, day 2 was a success, despite this. So the gratitude journey has taken me a lot beyond myself, where I'm not even looking for people to share the things that are happening in their life. So that way I'm snooping around. It was a struggle at first, because I wasn't sure if I had to start asking people what's going on in your life. But what I noticed is that you begin to attract what it is that you want. So subconsciously and consciously now, I get feedback from friends, from stories. Even when I see stories on social media, for instance, there's a little boy who drowned, a 4-year-old boy called Judah, who drowned in the US. And he gets into my gratitude jar these days. When his mother does a video where he's trying to speak, I'm like, thank you, Lord, for Judah. At least we saw progress. So what gratitude also does is that it has moved me from a place of selfishness into a space where I am now consistent and intentional about looking out for what people are grateful for in their own lives. So, and invariably, what that does is it makes you selfless. Because I'm a Christian, one of the things that we know is, love your neighbor as yourself. Pray for your brother and sister. There's a part in First John that says that if I come to you and I tell you that I need money or I have a need, and you don't give it to me, or what use is my loving you, or what use is my being a brother if I don't give to you? So that's one thing that I realized that the gratitude journey and the gratitude work has been able to do for me. Now, you've asked me to talk about wellness, and I feel like it's very important for people to understand that gratitude and being grateful and thankfulness are two different things. And I would explain to you why all of these things are necessary. A lot of us grew up in homes where I grew up in a Yoruba home where it was completely necessary and mandatory for you to thank people. You will thank your friends, you will thank your neighbors, you will thank the elders, you will thank them for thanking you, you will thank them for receiving, So I grew up in that space. So growing up, I didn't understand how people would see maybe domestics or see people doing their jobs and not know how to say thank you. Yes, I'm paying you for a service. Case in point, the Lekki toll. I always subconsciously say thank you. I always no, let me say always. A lot of the time will say thank you. A lot of the times will say hello or hi or good afternoon or good evening. And I found out that it is because it is who I am and it is how I was brought up. Growing up, I used to struggle when my mother used to insist, and I used to wonder, what is all this? Why is she so particular about this? But what it does is that your mind and your brain gets to be wired in such a state that even the guy who opens the door for you, though it's his job, you intentionally pause and say good morning or goodbye or say thank you. And what that does to you, it makes you mindful, it makes you present in every situation, such that you are not absent-minded. You're not absent-minded, you are not lost. Sometimes we walk into a place that we're not even conscious about the things that we do. Why? Because things have just happened. Exactly. And it's what happens to us as humans. We are preoccupied with a lot of things. Adult life is a scam. Many things are going on. So being grateful is the state where you're expressing your gratitude. Now, thankfulness is where you intentionally and mindfully recognize that someone has been gracious to you, whether you paid them for a service or they have given a service towards you or supplied you with a product. That way, you are grateful and you know well enough to thank that person for what it is that the person has done. Now, that is gratitude, and that is and being grateful and thankfulness. One thing that underlies both of them is mindfulness. You are present, you are intentional, you are there in that space. You are not absent-minded, and because of that, you notice things. Because of that, you notice when the doorman is not there. You notice when the office messenger, is absent from work. Why? Because you know that what you begin to receive what you give. That office assistant who you used to say thank you to would notice when you're absent. And one day when you resume back at work, you say, good afternoon, ma. I noticed that you were not around for 2 weeks, so hope no problem. Then you say, yes, thank you for noticing. You now ask her, why did you notice? The person will randomly just say, because it's only you that used to greet me, or it's only you that used to say thank you after I washed the bathroom. It's those little pockets of things that, even for a lot of us who were not born with it, we can actually learn it. Because I would usually hear people say, but I wasn't born this way, I wasn't trained this way. And I would say, mindfulness, intentionality, that is why they say in life, you have to learn, you have to relearn, you have to unlearn. This is something that you have to learn. And this is something that you have to keep learning. For people who have children, whether biological or people that you mentor, what happens is they become a reflection of who it is that they see that you are. So your child inculcates it. You might struggle with a child who is younger and you think, this child, I'm always teaching this child. But guess what? At the root of the child's foundation, of the child's core, even when the child goes to college, the child will subconsciously start to find him or herself being grateful, expressing gratitude, and all of that. Now, why it's easier for me is because my mom is somebody who knows to show gratitude and does it effortlessly. It is so bad that she will call you 2 months after my mother is still calling you to thank you for what you did 6 months ago. And I used to struggle with it. I never understood it. But now that I'm older, I get it. And that's also because I have now become who she is and who I used to fight her before when it comes to this gratitude and this gratefulness thing. Now, what it does to you as a person with your holistic life is a grateful heart makes you whole. And what do I mean by that? It makes you whole to the point where you are a healthier being. You become a more vibrant person when people share experiences of their lives or share with you stories, or you read someone's story on social media. You are excited. You don't know them, but you can see that this couple have just been gifted with a child, or they have just been successfully delivered of a child. You are excited. You are, your mind, your heart is healthy enough to rejoice with them, even when you don't understand what the journey is. Now, what it does to you, it gives you a healthier mindset. And also, A grateful heart, it takes away strife. A grateful heart makes you present, such that you don't compare. What gratitude is doing to me is the spirit of comparison. I no longer, it's not like I used to compare, but you'll find out that why is this thing happening to that person? Why is that thing happening to that person? Why is this person's own this way? Or why is my own not this way? Comparison automatically starts to die. And that's what gratitude has been doing for me as a person. Because most of the things that I'm going to share today are things that I am seeing. I'm not at the end there, or I'm not at the peak where I think I can get to, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. And that's one thing that is very peculiar with this gratitude journey for me as a person. Now, it makes you have good self-esteem. What does that mean? How does that play out? When you are a grateful person, it means that you are grateful about who you are, what you have, the resources you do not have, your journey that you have come through, everything, such that nobody can mess with you when you are saying, oh, I'm on the big side, or I am on the small side. You understand that some people actually have really, really bad issues with their body that they are struggling with. But because you have come to love your body, and if you're trying to struggle with whatever the journey is, if you are too slim or you are too skinny, or you're on the plus size, you love your body and you start to work towards getting the body that you think that you want. What that does is nobody can mess with your self-esteem. Why? Because you have appreciated the body that you're currently existing in, and it helps you a whole lot.
Yeah.
People very easily talk about how difficult it is to have a grateful mind. And I know that one of the, some factors that hinder gratefulness are overzealousness. You are overzealous about everything. You want to have everything now. You want everything to happen now, because you are forgetting where you are coming from. You are not mindful of the journey that you have come from. So you want it now, you want it now. Overzealousness kills the spirit of gratitude. Getting distracted kills the spirit of gratitude. And how that plays out most times is in comparison. Forgetfulness, which is why journaling is very, very important. So I would always encourage people who say that they struggle with gratitude to say, start to journal first. They say that if you want to start, a habit, you do it in 21 days. If you want to have a lifetime, a lifestyle, you do it in 90 days. Start to journal first. If you journal, you see that by yourself, you start to look for what is going on in this person's life. What good has happened to Auntie Toyin this afternoon? What has happened to her this month? Let me call her and check up on her to say, how are you? She will share with me the unpleasant stories, but in all of the unpleasantness, she will share with me a good thing that she's excited about. I will pick it. Because why? My mind has become programmed to now looking for the good in every situation, however big it is, even when you break down and you cannot see it. Subconsciously, when you're being human and you're expressing your emotion, your mind begins to pick the good in the story that people will share with you. So therefore, forgetfulness is one problem that hinders why people, struggle with mindfulness and gratitude. Imagine that you are content. Imagine you don't have self-esteem issues. Imagine that you are not distracted. Imagine that you are not overzealous. Imagine that you are drinking your water, you are taking your vitamins, you are eating your greens, you are eating your vegetables, you are sleeping well. What will happen? Holistically, your life will be better. You will start to glow. People will be wondering, why are you shining like this? You'll be able to explain to them what it is. But the truth about it is because you have all of these factors, and which is why being grateful and expressing thanksgiving is not something that happens on its own that makes your life change. It is a combination of many things. Imagine the things I mentioned earlier: eating right, drinking water, doing your exercise, eating your vitamins, being grateful. It has a holistic effect of transforming your life forever. So you have to improve your thankfulness, You have to be intentional about it. You have to be consistent about it. You have to be mindful about it. What are the characteristics of a grateful heart? A grateful heart, is a heart and an attitude of gratitude, and you're not entitled. Yes, your father and mother should help you do this. Yes, your siblings should do this. But when your brother decides to send you money, for instance, you are so thankful because you know for a certainty that your brother does not owe you anything. And because he has chosen to do that, you remain grateful, and you are not entitled. Secondly, it makes you see the good and positive in life. You consistently will be focusing on the good and the positive. You are focusing on the good. Okay, look, there was traffic. Traffic was really bad. But then what happened? When you eventually got to the place, did you get the job? How was the interview? You will not dwell on the traffic here bad gone. You will move. Sarah. You will listen to it, you would express it. But overall, your mind is fixated on the good things that will come from that story, however minute or however little that thing is. Thirdly, gratefulness and gratitude chills off bad and negative energy or negative vibes completely. Because remember, right now in my own gratitude journey, I am not particular about what happens to my life as a person. I begin to look around me. And what that does is, once you start to attract positive energy, people will know, the world will know. And guess what will come your way? Yes, negative energy will come, let's be honest, but predominantly more positive than negative energy will come. Then it makes you celebrate God. I can tell you how on many occasions I'm praying at night and I'm not thanking God or praying about something that happened to me. I'm saying thank you for these people. They finally had a child. Thank you for these people. They've been able to pay their child's school fees. Thank you for these people. Their landlord did not send them out of their house. They're able to raise their house rent. Thank you for this guy. God, you saved him even when his car stopped on Third Mainland Bridge. You sent him help. That is what he does. It makes you thank the God who has done the things in these other people's lives. And that in itself is, if there's no other reason why we should be grateful and thankful, this is one strong reason why we should be. Another thing is that it keeps you grounded. It makes you understand that there will be happy times, there will be sad times, but it is what you get out of it and how you interpret it. Does gratitude and health connect? Absolutely. So there's a study that shows that if you practice gratitude, that it will lead you to, several things. One is an intimate relationship, connected relationships with people. Why? Because people will know that you're a positive energy person. People will know that you're a good person at the core of who you are. And it makes them want to invest in you. So from investing in you, you have sound and qualitative relationships with everyone, people of the same sex, people of the opposite sex, without even having any ulterior motives, because that is what it is. With health, it also leads to less depression because you are not doing more than yourself. You understand that in this life, day your day, I day my day. That things are happening for you now. I will rejoice with you. I will celebrate with you. I will write it in my gratitude journal. But my turn is also coming. So therefore, I am not depressed. I am not comparing my life to yours. I am not comparing your life to mine. And that ultimately leads to less depression. It makes you more motivated and it keeps you engagement. Like I said, you are inquisitive. You want to know what's happening. What's the update of the story you shared with me? You shared with me something in 2018. What's the update? Have you been able to get a child now? Have you been able to adopt a child? Are you been able to get the child through surrogacy? Not dwelling predominantly on, can you people get pregnant? Can you people get pregnant? Because why? Is the fact that a couple can even have a child through any secondary means is also something to be grateful for. And that is something that gratitude also does. It makes you remember the happy times and good times, and it keeps you engaged and motivated. And finally, and without a doubt, what gratitude does in terms of well-being is that it just gives you a holistic, overview about your health. You are not worried about many things. You are not, you're not scared about what the journey. Yes, the journey it will pay you. For someone that they don't give visa, oh my, and you're not going more from visa. Let's be very honest. But then the person is mindful that, you know what, a lot of people can actually not afford certain things, and I'm here. So for that reason, I'm grateful. One thing I have learned from this gratitude journey is that it is not a positive thing for me to say, God, thank you that I have a house. Imagine the people under the bridge. It is not a good mindset. Why? Because they are not better than you are. Neither are you better than they are. But it is just time and chance. That you have a roof over your head is an amazing thing to be grateful for. But you will not be grateful at the expense of someone else's unpleasant experience, which is something I see a lot of us do, a lot of us have. Even in Christianity, when somebody is sharing a testimony, it could have been worse, but it is not worse. So in this moment in my life, in this journey, don't remind me of how worse it could have been. Let us stay here where I know that it could have been better than where it is that I am. And it's something that we have to be very, very, very intentional about. When you express gratitude, it makes you optimistic. by nature, I am a very, very highly optimistic person by nature, and I believe very strongly that it comes with my DNA, possibly in my dad or But then what I also notice is that with gratitude, I am even becoming a lot more positive and a lot more optimistic about many things, many things. Um, Gratitude does that. It does that for you. It makes you, on the days where you don't have where to go, you are grateful. On the days where you have places to go, you are equally thankful. So I believe very strongly that it's very necessary for people to look at the power that lies in gratitude. It is such an understated and such, you know, an extensive reach of what gratitude means. But the starting point for a lot of people is the mindfulness, is the intentionality, and the consistency. And it always starts with journaling. So if by nature you are not somebody who is optimistic, you always see the glass, half full, empty. One thing that I know that helps is start journaling. Use whatever method works for you. Write it on your phone, have a diary that you have, whatever it is, do it. Do it for 30 days. From 30 days, invite a friend of yours to say, see, abeg, come, let's do this thing. Do it for 60 days. For 60 days, you look for a third person. No, a second person actually. So you do it for 90 days. By the time you guys do it for 6 months consistently, what happens is that subconsciously, before you sleep, right? Even when you hit the bed, you jolt out of your sleep to say, oh, I haven't filled my gratitude jar today. Oh, I haven't done this today. Why? Because you know that you're keeping track of all the things that you are thankful about. And it always starts from mindfulness and consistency. So yeah, I think that summarizes my whole session.
Thank you so much. In fact, I was speaking quite a bit from what you were saying, especially the part about journaling. I remember when I was going through my bedridden years, 6 months of being
Mm,
bedridden, and then after that, when I started using my crutches, I was really
mm.
down and it's not her. She used to have removed herself. Oh, sorry, my network was playing up. That's what happened. Okay, so I was saying that when I was going through all my challenges, I decided to have a journal. I would have really called it a journal, gratitude journal, but it was a journal of just putting all my thoughts and all
Everything.
my worries,
Yeah.
everything. I just
Yeah.
poured it. And 2 days later, I'll come back to the journal and read it, and I'll be like, "You mean I actually wrote this?" But things are not really that bad, are they? And I will analyze and what are the challenges and what I can make myself better for, based on what I wrote. And at the end of the day, it's what I even used to write my autobiography, which was the irony of it all. I just gathered bits, and sometimes we don't realize the potential of writing that journal down. Um, so if there's any
Mm.
questions, anybody has questions, please put it down. But one thing I know, you said that gratitude being thankful can be very difficult because I live in a space because of all the challenges we go through as warriors. Um, we rarely find it easy to find something that we're grateful for, which I feel always affects us in the long run. It's more
Yeah,
about
and again, I would say that it is programming, which is why all that I have shared
mm,
this afternoon is how to deprogram. You have to rewrite. You have to write again your programming. It is just what it is. There is no hard and fast rule about it. No pastor is going to lay hands on you and one day, voila, you become somebody who will start to see
mhm,
the positives. If I tell you the many things that I wish had happened this year, or the many things that have happened to me that have been utterly unpleasant, you'll be shocked to your bones. But then the
mm,
reality is we move, like we say it, we move, we don't have a problem about it. Um, Because really, what's the essence of my complaining that I have only 5,000 naira in my account and just thinking and then increasing it to high blood pressure? One medication, to even see a cardiologist, a doctor for high blood pressure, you will spend more than the 5,000 that you once had simply because you have
Yeah.
put added problems to what it is. So it is, rewiring. We need to write our programming again, and nobody is going to do it for us except by ourselves. If we don't see the need why we should, do it, there's no way we can survive that. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Abby says, a
A
grateful
grateful heart
heart
makes
makes
you
you
whole.
whole. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes you whole. Yes. And then Adenike says, gratitude journal is a must. Yes,
It
it is
is a
indeed a
must.
must. So we have to. So if you have questions, I know some of us have just joined. In case you feel you've missed something, you can ask questions on this topic. We still have a few more minutes before we bring in our next guest, who is standing by. But I would even say, because I want people to feel the impact of your story of being grateful. Could you just give us a short scenario of your story? I know you wrote a book. You can talk about it
Yes.
as well. So
Okay.
just a scenario, because some people may not know you. They may just know you as one person, but they don't know you as
Oh, okay.
someone with disability. And because you
For
have
me,
people who do
I think that, yeah, that's an indicator why it's interesting to a lot of people that I am this optimistic or I'm grateful. I believe very strongly that I had to be intentional about it. Losing, see my crutches are right here. It's not. I have one leg, um, and I'm seated in my, well, it's supposed to be what's it called, a study in my house, but I just moved, so it's still very, and I have moved on in quotes. Of course, I miss my leg that was amputated, but then it's not coming back, possibly except maybe by a miracle of some sort. And what then would my purpose be if I am just there wallowing? I become a problem. I'm sure I'll still be stuck at home. I may not have gotten
Mm,
finished with my university course. I may not have gone for NYSC. I may not have been called to bar. I may not have gotten a job in the media space. I may not have been, many, many things. But the truth is, you everybody has a reason why they should be down and out. Every single one of us. The most
mm,
successful people on the earth have reasons why they should be down and out. But one day we stand up and we realize that, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to
yeah.
do my best and I'm going to move on from this place and just, be me and find my peace. So the gratitude effect, I always say to people, is not a grandiose thing. It is a very minute thing, but has such an amazing and explosive impact if and when done
Mm,
consistently. One way to also start is by showing gratitude. If you find it difficult seeing what you should be grateful for in your life, start to show gratitude. Think of the people who have dashed you free money this year, for starters, if anybody has. Pick up your phone and
mhm,
send them a text message. You just say, "Hi, I just thought to check up on you. God bless you." And you have no idea how much impact that will put on the faces or in the hearts of these individuals if you're fortunate enough to have a lot of those individuals. So it's
mm,
a very simple thing, but it has a grand effect. So start to do it today and see how it completely transforms and utterly changes your life. And I mean that it will change your life. Never once did I think that I was going to pay attention to the things I'm paying attention to, which is why I said being grateful or showing gratitude is not by itself what will have an overall effect on your life. But by the time you start to drink water, you start to eat vegetables, you start to exercise, you start to read more books, you start to invest in yourself, and you have a grateful heart and you show thankfulness, your life completely changes. It's like a 360 turnaround. And at the end of the year, if you so desire to
mm,
check your journal, you'll be overwhelmed by the amazing things that happened, even in 2020, a year that
mhm,
really came hard at everyone. A few days ago on Twitter, someone said, to be very honest, has this year been good to you? And I'll be very frank with you to say, yes, this year has been good to me as a person. I've had, severe
yeah.
devastating experiences, honestly, but this year has ultimately been good to me. So if I do not remember anything I remember all of my friends who were, who had successfully delivered their children. And, conception, pregnancy, and birth are a miracle all put together. And because I can experience this through my friends, it's enough reason for me to be thankful in 2020. So, yes.
Exactly. So true. I remember the time I went, and they told me that I would start using the wheelchair. I went depressed for a while. Then I started thinking of all the positives I can do. And one of the positive, which was a bucket list for me, was to run the marathon. So for once, I had an electric wheelchair to run the marathon. 10K kilometers. So I was grateful for something to run on my bucket list.
Yep.
All right. On a lighter note, Yobi says, but Yobi, you're not serious. He says, we can be thankful for bad record on our way to good network.
I saw it though. I saw it. Then Sharon said, gratitude effect. Indeed, being alive alone is worth being grateful for. And I completely agree, especially when we remember what has happened in this entire stretch of 2020. Having people who have means, seeing people who have all the money and know the highest people in the world lose their fights to coronavirus is not, a small thing. It's not a small thing. And the fact that for people who caught it and people who have successfully been, recovered from it, that is enough reason to be grateful. And Adenike says entitlement mentality is a negative part that doesn't allow you reasons to be grateful. Absolutely. Nobody deserves, nobody owes you anything in life. So if you get it, please be grateful. No matter who does it, your spouse, your children, your siblings, your parents, show gratitude. I remember getting my dad something last year and him calling me, and he was so grateful. He was so grateful that I just burst out in tears, crying, saying, "You really don't have to show me this much gratitude." But then he did, he still did. And I'm very grateful that I have a family that can show me what it is to see what gratitude does and how it, and to be very frank, and that is, so, the funny thing is, if you give me something today and I thank you for it, you'll be excited to give me a next time. So I will never run out of what it is. That is another effect of the gratitude.
Exactly.
We always feel like we don't have enough. So because we don't have enough, we don't feel the need to donate a 500 naira donation to that person who has a story on social media trying to raise funds, or that 1,000 naira. And what gratitude does is that gratitude makes you see that nothing is too small, especially if it's from a heart that is given towards a good cause. So go for it. And that's what gratitude does.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been an interesting conversation. I've even picked extra, although some I people always say, what happened? Okay, she went off. Oh, well, anyway, we've technically ended anyway, and our next guest is on the line. So we'll take a break and we'll come back with our guest. I'll wait a few seconds to make sure she doesn't come online, but in the meantime, we'll head back to okay, she's come, so we can wrap up properly. Yeah, I was just rounding up anyway.
I'm so sorry, I mistakenly ended it.
Oh, okay. No problem. We are rounding up anyway. So thank you so much for this time with us. God bless you. What is the title of your book again? I forgot. Adenike, right?
Oh yeah, Adenike.
Where can they get it?
It's online, it's on Amazon, it's at Roving Heights, it's at Latana. Yes.
All right. So get a book.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure you'll be inspired by it. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.